Now, the South African State Theatre, in collaboration with arts journalist and writer Percy Mabandu, as well as musician Selaelo Selota, are hosting the Inaugural Dashiki Dialogues. Well, the two join me now in studio to expand further on the Dashiki Dialogues. Gentlemen, good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us. It sounds incredible. What is it about?
I think Percy is the man to...
Well, Dashiki Dialogues is a series of conversations that celebrate virtuosity and luxury craftsmanship. The idea is that we wanted to bring together a number of artists that we feel are exceptionally gifted and needed to be celebrated with a particular focus on what they do as creatives and craftsmen, not just as people who make beautiful songs that we enjoy. And we've determined that Selaelo Selota is such an exceptional musician, an exceptional craftsman. As a guitarist, he's unparalleled. As a composer, he's without question one of the leading keepers of our story as a people and heritage makers. So the Dashiki Dialogues then brings him with me as an art journalist and an art historian to explore his practice over the years and to chart possible futures for us as those who enjoy what he has done over the years, for us as a country, for us as a people, and art consumers in general.
And his is a career, yours is a career that has spanned around 2 decades, and, you know, coming in through various forms of art in your medium as a writer, a producer, a guitarist, a musician. How do you feel being part of these dialogues?
For me, every platform I get, it has been almost a platform of dialogue. Whenever I grab my guitar and sing a song, I actually sometimes just cool it off and slow it down and start telling a story. So the Dashiki Dialogues, I think they are very important because we will be getting into the where I come from, meaning my background, and at the same time the legacy, that what I see fit as legacy, heritage, and also socio-political and cultural aspects of things, because they go hand in hand, as well as the economics as well.
Yeah. You make mention of luxury. I see you've got a cigar in your hand. Is it part of the dialogues?
No, we actually conceive of the idea of luxury not as expensive, but something that's well made.
Okay.
And I think that's part of the lexical maybe misunderstanding. We emphasize virtuosity, and extremely talented or extremely gifted craftsmen like Selaelo Selota are people that we want to shine a light on. Often the quality of art journalism in the country comes lacking. We are much more concerned with the spectacle of scandal and the pursuit of trivial joys, as it were. But we have determined that we need a platform where we become serious about the work that artists do and the meaning that they hold for us as a culture and as a people, so that we can come together in a conversation that highlight that bit, because the quality of art journalism, as I've said, has, you know, more often than not been found wanting. So we're trying to highlight that.
I think that's quite an important aspect, especially as we look at the upbringing and the influence of an artist. I mean, in your music, we feel the influence, your background, where you come from, who you are, and what you stand for as a South African.
You're quite right, Mpho, and I think it's very important. That is the key that actually entangles me. By the way, entanglement. It entangles me with the soul of the nation, the people, because instead of, even without them saying now we're going to follow Selaelo, they find in me themselves. They hear in me themselves. Whenever I dance, they see in me the movement. Their body actually reacts to how I move. So it's very important for me, and I think it's going to be exciting because, as he said, he spoke about, Percy's talking about virtuosity. Many a times musicians, we are all clamped up on a stage as an orchestra or a big band or so. But this time you are almost like isolated and you grab your instrument. And it is that moment when that virtuosity comes through, when you actually become one with the instrument and people can you are actually able to say, to say something musically or melodically, and the instrument mimics you immediately, or you do it same time, and that is something that is very special.
Why do you think it's so important to, I mean, you make mention of the focus around musicians, often perhaps around their personal lives, instead of focusing on appreciating the craft and speaking about it and celebrating it. Why do you think it's so important to continue to do so, especially at such a time? We haven't heard much from the artists over the COVID-19 period.
That's part of the conversation, to say that artists are much more important to us as a people than just entertainers. I think this, as somebody who's an art historian and a creative myself, I know that there's something in the creative product that speaks to much more than the idea of what we can sell, but something sacred, as it were. And if we are made in the image of God, and God is the creator, we are best like him when we are being creative. And who then mirrors that likeness to the divine than the artists who are making it the purposes of their lives to be creative, which is to say, to be like the creator.
As he's speaking, I'm hearing pa in my head. So are we going to hear some of your old music and just a journey of your musical experience?
Yes, there's going to be a lot of that. And you know what pleases me? I like it that you said you hear trpa. It's that some things are just timeless.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that the song you mentioned, trpa, it is timeless. And you know, it's very important that I always say the first person I heard saying trpa was my grandfather. So if he was born in 1910, and we are here in 2022, and we are talking about me still taking the legacy of that, what he said, trpa, then it says, you know, some things are just time, they don't get old.
Yeah.
Your spirit doesn't get old. You know, we get old physically, but the music, we can see that it is part of the spirit of the human spirit that has been there from ancient times.
It's funny you say we get old physically. I remember meeting you 10 years ago, and I could swear you look exactly the same. So
This is true.
I don't know what he's talking about. Tell us about when and the times and where all of this is taking place.
Yeah. So we're getting together on Friday the 27th at 7 o'clock in the Malombo Theatre of the South African State Theatre in Pretoria. And you can go into the website of the State Theatre to find out how much tickets are, or on the Dashiki Dialogues Facebook page, or the Percy Mabandu Facebook page, and you'll be able to find all that information. But it's Friday, 27th. It's 7 o'clock, but it'll be best that because it's 2 days after payday, just before the debit orders do you wrong, you can buy those tickets quickly and then come and join us. It's going to be special, like I said. It's a lot of people have never seen Selaelo Selota performing as a solo guitarist, so they don't know this aspect of him. And it's going to be a very rare occasion. It's one for the ages. It's
Absolutely.
going to be one for the ages.
It sounds exciting. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us in studio. Musician Selaelo Selota, as well as Percy Mabandu, arts journalist, talking about this phenomenal event called the Inaugural Dashiki Dialogues, taking place at the South African State Theatre. Be sure to ensure that you're there to see it. It sounds like it's going to be amazing.